I feel that they keep doing that to Boba Fett. That's what the show's doing. It's constantly throwing him back in to the Sarlacc pit in some zany way that it's like, anyway. What's going on, everybody? This is the Book of Boba Fett Roundtable. I am Chris Knight on Khaos Central, and we're going to go around really quick, get everybody to introduce themselves and their channels, and then we will get on with the topic at hand, the Book of Boba Fett, and what we thought about this episode. Likes, dislikes, all that stuff. So let's start to my proverbial stage left. It is Comic Chat. Danny, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for the invite. I'm Danny Graham, aka Comic Chat. You can find me on Khaos Central channel tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the following two nights with these two guys to my left and right. And sometimes on Saturdays, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can find me on my show or our show called Square One, where we talk NFL, NBA. Thanks for the invite. Ready to go.
Awesome. All right. Hold on just a second here, guys. I'm hearing myself because
Danny, you need some, need to feel like the energy of tonight's show, man. It's gonna be fire.
I have no energy, bro. y'all have successfully sucked it all out of me. I am here for straight obligation to Chris.
Wow.
That's funny because none of us have talked about it yet.
Man, I know Alzo's gonna like this, but he gonna like it for the wrong reasons. You just said in your text on the DM, you come with fire and brimstone or some other kind of stuff. Scorch earth.
But wait, hold on. What do you mean I like it for the wrong reasons?
Okay, let's get into it. We'll get into it later on. We'll get into it when it'll come out.
Yeah.
It's gonna come out.
Okay. Hold on just a second, guys. All right. Up next, Anzo, tell everybody about yourself, your channel, all that good stuff.
What's up, guys? Big Afford Entertainment. You know the channel. Like Danny said, we have our shows. Also do the OOC on Wednesdays. And after this, I will be doing a fucking Tenet watch party. Now, if that brings somebody down, having to watch that movie again is going to bring me down.
Why are you watching it?
Huh?
Why are you watching if you don't like it?
Because I promised someone I'd watch it again.
I don't hate that movie. I thought
I never watched.
Denzel Washington's kid did a fantastic job in it.
I think he did good too.
I think the audio balancing when I saw it in the theater was terrible.
Horrible.
The first mix of it, and his last few movies have been horrible in mix. Christopher Nolan's.
Tell me about it. Yeah.
And I'm the more I listen to it, like even the Dark Knight Rises, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The third of the Batman one. The original mix in that was horrible. And I'm trying to sit there and like, is it something like, does he hear it? And he's like, oh, I like the way this sounds. And then the guys are like, fuck it, just ship it. They'll fix it afterwards when we put it on DVD. Because when I got the DVD, it's like, okay, it sounds better. And then after it'd been out on HBO Max, Tenet for a while, after it'd been on there, it got fixed. And it's like, okay, now I can watch this movie and maybe try to figure out what's going on. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe I can try to start to figure out what the fuck's going on.
Sparkle Boy did a great job in that too.
Who's that?
Sparkle Boy.
No, dude. I mean, the guy I can. I want to say Hayden Christensen. That's Sandboy. No,
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson. He does pretty good in other things that aren't called.
He's actually
Twilight,
a really good actor.
So Twilight was like his Beatles. I want to hold your hand phase. All right. Up next, it's Nindroid. Nindroid, tell everybody about yourself and about your channel, please.
All right. You guys can personally find me on my own YouTube channel, Nindroid243. We're over there. We have Galactic Chat every single Friday. Every 2 weeks, which we're going to be reviewing both Book of Boba Fett episodes, the finales of this show, this upcoming week. As well as, I'm working on my Nindroid cut to the Rise of Skywalker, where I'm trying to fix it up, make it a better film. We have a lot of hard work and a lot of people helping on that project. So, guys, make sure you go support it. And thank you, Chris, for having me on.
Not a problem. Up next, Comics Division. Go ahead, tell everybody about yourself. And
Hi, everybody. I'm Comics Division, and I am the resident Star Wars Disney hater. Just so we don't get things confused here. Obviously, everything that they create, I hate. So, yeah.
Facts.
There you go. All right. Austinator, tell everybody about yourself, please.
What is up, everybody? It's me, Gray Jedi Austinator here. You know, if you wanna just stay neutral, you know, come to the EU side, you know, just come to my channel where, you know, we just do a bunch of stuff over there. Just check me out and find me on Sundays on the Chaos Central, you know, channel for the Book of Boba Fett Roundtable, the best group of the Book of Boba Fett Roundtable. We actually have differing opinions, which make us better. And also find me on the weekly wrap up where, you know, I'm not even going to go into specifics because that might get this stream taken down. But, you know, hey, just check that out. Also on Wednesdays, I'm on the Hangout, you know, on Guy Scar's channel, the Basco Scenario, where we also talk Book of Boba Fett and many other things. And also the Late Night Snack on the Jason Lee Tucker Statements channel. And you can find me on Galactic Chat on Fridays and also on my own Twitter at the Ostinator17. Sometimes I tweet, sometimes I retweet, sometimes I don't. It's a lottery. Come check me out. This round table is about to get interesting, Chris. I can already feel it.
I am sure. All right, let's just get down to it. Let's start with what did we like about this week's episode of Book of Boba Fett, and we will start with Danny. Danny, what did you like about this episode?
Everything.
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. We're gonna start the right way.
General thoughts.
General thoughts of the episode. Just first thoughts. Sorry,
Chris, you're messing up already, bro. What's up?
You know what? Yes. If I don't, people think something's wrong with me.
I feel you. We already think that.
Okay. For overall thoughts. First thoughts.
Great show. Can't wait to the next one.
Okay. Anzo.
Damn. Actually, it was a good episode. I really enjoyed it. It was the best one of the series so far. And yeah, it was great.
Okay. Nindroid.
Great episode. Still has some problems though.
Okay.
Sure.
Comics. Let me look for my whoopee cushions noise here.
Well, I thought the second episode of season 3 of The Mandalorian was rather interesting. I wasn't expecting to get more Luke Skywalker.
Overall thoughts. Great. That was perfect. Austinator. Overall thoughts.
You know the book Where's Waldo? I think there needs to be a sequel to that called Where's
Boba Fett?
Where's
But
Boba?
to be serious, though, I mean, as a Star Wars episode, this is great. But as a Boba Fett episode, yeah, I'll talk about that when I get to my negatives. But overall, it was a really good episode, though.
Excuse me. Okay. Now, my overall thoughts is, the whole Where's Boba? They did put him in for 5 seconds. So, okay, better than he's in more of this episode than he was last episode. So, hey, there's a plus. We're going in the right direction. But I liked it. Overall, what they did, I had no issues with. But we will discuss where my issues begin here in a minute. Let's start with what did you like, Danny? Go ahead.
Everything.
Okay. All right. To the point. Anzo, what did you like?
I'd have to kind of agree with Donnie that I liked everything in this episode. I liked Luke training Grogu. They did the CGI, the deep faking for Luke a lot better in this than they did in the Mando, right? There were still some chunky parts to it where, when they show him from the side, I was like, that could have looked better. But overall, they did a great job on that. I liked to see the story about him training Grogu and Grogu having to make a choice. And man, they brought in Cad Bane at the end. And for some reason, I think there was some talk on one of these streams about him coming on. So it wasn't really much of a surprise. but the fact that they did his voice and his look was great, I was impressed with that. So there's a lot of things that they did in this episode that I like, and I hope they continue to do more of it.
Okay. Nindroid.
Yeah, I have to echo both of them. Yeah, basically everything in this episode was to me really good. I loved that Cad Bane appeared. I really enjoyed seeing Luke train Grogu, and yes, his deep fake was great. So much better than Mandalorian season 2.
Mhm.
There's actually a reason behind that.
Yeah, they took the guy from the internet to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shamrock or whatever his name
Yeah.
was, the YouTuber.
Right.
Yeah. I do really like that. I love the story that they told here, the whole choice thing. There's just a lot in this episode that I enjoyed. So, yeah.
All right. Okay, comics. Go ahead.
I thought the deep fakes for Luke were very well done. As everyone kind of mentioned, it was a lot better than what we saw with season 2 of Mandalorian. And the reason why is because I hired that YouTuber that did a much better job than the large multi-million-dollar corporation. So that was smart of them to go and bring him on to help with that. I thought it looked really good. It was kind of weird, being the fact that Mark Hamill is just not that young anymore. I'm kind of curious to see where they're planning on taking this deepfake technology when it comes to doing anything with these characters. Are they planning on doing the same thing with like Carrie Fisher, or not just Mark Hamill, but Harrison Ford. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So are they planning on doing any of the legacy material with those characters? That's what I'm kind of curious about. But yeah, I thought that was the best part, was the technology, the CG that they did was fantastic.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Austinator likes.
Well, I'm gonna have to echo basically everybody. Luke training Grogu was pretty cool. I think there was actually some throwbacks to Empire Strikes Back where Luke had Grogu in the bag, and he was jumping around and shit. I thought that was really cool. Even the meditating and then Grogu lifting up the frogs with the Force. I thought, oh, that's a tie back to Mandalorian season 2 where he was eating the frog eggs. Grogu once again showcasing that he hates frogs, I guess, or he likes them in his own weird way. Like the appearances from like Ahsoka and Cad Bane were awesome. I think at this point it's kind of not shocking because after last episode now they're just throwing shit at the wall, and seeing the little appearance from Ahsoka, her talk to Luke was great. Cad Bane was awesome because it's Cad Bane, and and the way he came in and he was like, look, how about don't just stay out of it? And then the sheriff's like, no, I'm still going to do it. And then he's like, okay, he kills the assistant deputy and he kills like the sheriff. I'm like, oh shit. I
don't think the sheriff's dead.
Well, the sheriff's
he's not dead.
He's severely injured. But the deputy's dead though.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
The deputy's dead.
He's a red shirt for sure.
Yep. He was shot multiple times. So.
Mm-hmm.
And I did like what Mando was doing. He was basically recruiting, and he's like, "Hey, Sheriff, I need your help." And then Sheriff's like, "Well, I really don't want to do that because we're living kind of peacefully." And Mando's like, "But it's going to happen. But even if the Pikes don't come to you yet, they're going to come and take you over eventually." And that's another positive with this episode. They actually started doing stuff with the Pikes. I mean, it took them 7 episodes, but you know what? Or no, it took them 6 episodes, but hey, I mean, better late than never, I guess, And what they did was cool. They blew up the bar and stuff. Like, this is what I like to see, It's like we're getting somewhere here. It's like piece by piece. It's like it feels like we're finally getting somewhere, thankfully. And I did like the choice that Luke does give to Grogu at the end, where he's like, do you want to be with Mando or do you want to continue being a Jedi? Which, I mean, I thought it kind of makes sense because if you think about it, in Last Jedi, he's still like sort of in like the old Jedi way, essentially. Like he's more like strictly of the old Republic-ish, not Old Republic-ish, but like in the kind of prequel mindset, like no attachment, just. So I kind of like that they tied in the prequel stuff, and they were even tying stuff into the sequel trilogy, which I was like, okay, I'm kind of seeing where they're going with it. Building the Jedi Temple, which eventually it's going to be burned down and sad stuff. And R2-D2 too. Like I kind of geeked out when I saw R2-D2 again. I'm like, oh my god, it's R2-D2. It's like all like the little like throwbacks and like characters and just in general, I thought this episode was really good. Except there's one major flaw, which I'll get into that. But in general, I thought everything in this episode was really cool in terms of like like throwing in the characters and like kind of building up a little bit of the plot, which I liked.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope, that's about it.
You guys mentioned the deep fake of Luke. Definitely a lot better. I don't know who did the voice work. The voice, for the most part, worked really well. It was off at times, so I'm not sure exactly how they did it. I saw an article, and I haven't looked at it yet. It explains what happened or what they did. But
I thought they actually used Hamill's voice and de-aged it, but I could be wrong.
Well, the thing is what I read was that Mark Hamill was not used. Well, it says he wasn't used. Now, that does not mean that because I think you guys have heard that they've come to the point now where a lot of these programs they use can take snippets from people and mesh it together. And I'm wondering if that's what it meant, is that they didn't use that. They went back to because you had plenty of stuff from the original trilogy. You can clip like Empire and Return of the Jedi and probably get a pretty good vocabulary going. And then I figured the computer would synthesize the rest or something. But it just at times it seemed off. The other thing, but I liked it. It worked a lot better. I liked seeing the Marshal back in this. I do like the aspect of going around and finding all these people who are on Tatooine who can help Boba. So that all made sense. Absolutely, the best thing in this episode was the end with Cad Bane. The way they brought him in. I know that there's some people talking about, he didn't look right, but there's a couple good videos out there actually to explain the reason why he doesn't look like he does in the Clone Wars and stuff. One of them is on Star Wars Theory, I think, so go check that out. But the way that they bring him in that badass, cool customer just walks into town. I mean, that's Cad Bane. I mean, the way they did that to me, that was Cad Bane. And that opens up a lot of stuff that you can do. So those things right there are some of the things I really liked. Trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, I mean, the Pikes coming back into play, all that stuff. Very good.
By the way, they do have Mark Hamill credited as Luke Skywalker. I'm not sure if they have to credit him because they're using his likeness, or if that's because he's actually in the episode. Like
I said, I can't tell you because I didn't actually read that article yet. What it was saying, it says why Mark Hamill didn't lend his voice for this episode, and I don't. Like I said, I'm not going to go out there and say talk about something I don't know. So maybe he was, for all I know. Okay, let's talk about things we didn't like. We're going to go start down at the bottom with Austinator. What didn't you like?
Well, I mean, this episode was great, but again, there's really no Boba in this episode, and it's one of those things where I get it, but at the same time, we kind of, again, spent a good chunk of this episode with Grogu and Luke, and we're not really doing a lot in terms of what Boba's doing. I mean, granted, I think Chris said it best, last week's episode too. It's like, would I have preferred a filler episode over this? No. I would have actually rathered something like this. But in a 7-episode show that's called The Book of Boba Fett, you expect Boba Fett to be in it at least a good majority of the time. I don't think the character necessarily needs to be the main focus, because I'll use some examples, like Cobra Kai, for example. Like, I mean, granted, it's not really fair because it's 10 episodes, but it's remote. It's basically the same length, essentially. And it's also not really fair because it's more of an ensemble thing. But even when they're not focusing on the main characters, you're still getting, Johnny Lawrence in the episode, even if it's focusing on Miguel or Sam or whatever. And even like WandaVision, I'll even use this example. There was one episode where Wanda and Vision weren't really in the episode. It was like episode 4 where they were having, it was more about like what's going on in the outside world and stuff. But they still appeared in the episode, like at least for a good chunk, or at least for a couple minutes. It's like if you're going to call the show Boba Fett, Boba Fett has to be in it. That was the problem with this, and this is the same problem with this week's episode. Like, what has Boba Fett been doing the last 2 episodes? That's like they don't really give a reason to it. It's just Boba Fett's just standing there this episode, like doing nothing, and then it cuts back to Mando again. It's like I just don't. It just, to me, it just didn't. It is a crossover episode, but I just don't know. It's like if you can't include Boba Fett into it, then why would you even bother calling the show Boba Fett? But that's really my only negative, is just no Boba Fett.
Okay. Comics.
Overall, what I don't like about it is the fact that it just feels like jingling keys to me. It's basically a cameo of the episode. I mean, that's I would say not the worst part of it. The worst part of for me is it is all roads lead to Jake Skywalker and him drinking green titty milk, because this directly ties right into the sequel trilogy, obviously, because it's owned by Disney, of course. And also, I don't like the fact that Luke gave Grogu a choice between being a Jedi and his attachments to the Mandalorian, because you could say that for the most part with Luke, he rejects that notion of rejecting attachments, because it was his attachment to his father that brought him back to the light side. It was his attachment to his friends, good or bad, that ended up leading to him helping save the day, right? I mean, so the fact that he presented Grogu with that choice, it just feels like a plot device to get him back into the Mandalorian.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's basically it.
Oh, okay. All right. Nindroid.
Okay. No Boba Fett. That's basically the one major thing. All right. This is called the Book of Boba Fett. Boba Fett should be in it more than 30 seconds of the episode, and he doesn't even say anything as well. He's just standing there, just looking over the plan that Fennec is doing, not Boba Fett. And it's like, why can't Boba Fett do something? This is his show and everything. It's like, I want to see more Boba Fett. It's like he's now fully healed. Can he finally be a badass and everything? It's like, it seems like Disney doesn't want to show us that, honestly. But also, one of my other negatives is that we don't see the conversation that all of us want to see between Luke and Ahsoka when they first meet. We want to see what was Luke's reaction to Ahsoka telling him that, she was the apprentice to Anakin Skywalker. We didn't see that. It just happened, off screen and all of that. That, to me, that's just a wasted opportunity right there. Like, seriously, you would have a lot of hardcore Clone Wars fans just crying at that scene. All right, you would have that, but you didn't do that. Now, that's just a little bit of a minor nitpick. But one thing that I will say is that they're really building up this war now by bringing Cad Bane into it and all of that, that this should be taken seriously. They better not end it next episode. They better not. They should continue to Mandalorian Season 3, because I don't know how they can wrap it up. So that's just my negatives.
Okay. Anzo.
Yeah, I guess I have to echo what most people are saying. There's no Boba Fett in this episode. We have 2 episodes and we have more Mando than anything else, And I think that's a problem when you have a 7-episode series. But other than that, there wasn't too much that I didn't like about it. And I'm kind of with Nindroid. It's like you're gonna tie up the whole war in one episode. Like, why? It's taking the same kind of thing that Marvel Disney is doing, where you get all this stuff in the first couple episodes, and the last episode, everything comes together. And I think if you were going to do this war, it would have been better if they had 2 episodes dedicated to the war, and we get to see Boba Fett do some badass stuff. But yeah, we're going to get to see him ride a Rancor, and I'm pretty worried about that. So, but other than that, man, there's not really much that I don't like in this episode, to be honest with you.
Okay. All right, Danny. Things you didn't like.
One thing that sticks out. I don't like how they treat Cobb Vanth. I think he should get some kind of armor or whatever going out there like he is. He's the sheriff and he tells people what to do. It's crazy. He could have some kind of armor protection or something. I thought it was a little crazy. I don't mind so much that Boba Fett's not in it. I don't think it's essential that the name Star has to be in every episode. Because if that's the case, then this episode, people shouldn't like it. If it has to be essential for the show to be good, he wasn't in there and people still like it. So I really don't care one way or the other how much he's in it or not in it. Because I think at the end we're gonna see Boba Fett do his thing. Like I said in an earlier video today, we only saw Boba Fett for 15 minutes on the big screen before this series, and he was declared the galactic badass. To me, badass is if you come into a man's house, shoot him and take his throne. That's badass to me. If you go to a bar by yourself and kick 5 or 6, 7 bikers' ass by yourself, that's badass to me. If you lead a bunch of people that were pretty much seen as savages, lead them to take over a train that loaded with a bunch of badasses that been killing them, that's badass to me. I don't know what else the man can do, but like I said, that's one thing that was really kind of nitpicky to me. The Cobb Vanth thing, not having armor.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it, brother.
All right. So for me, I'm kind of on the side of Danny on this. I'm not sure if Boba Fett needs to be in it every episode, but I don't see why he wasn't in this episode a little more. You could do, I don't know, flies in on a ship, talks to the marshal. Hey, Mando told me that you're here. You might help our cause. It should be Boba Fett doing this, maybe. Or maybe Mando could be with him. There's ways to work him into this more. And I think that the whole that end scene where the whole shootout happens, that might have meant a little more if he had just missed Boba Fett. Or if he was tracking Boba Fett and showed up right after Boba Fett left because he's just following him. I don't disagree with the Ahsoka thing. Ahsoka in this episode, it's like they act like they've been buddy-buddy forever. As far as we know, they've never met. Having that kind of fleshed out on screen helps. I guess if you decide to go and if they do the Ahsoka series, maybe they can show it in that, but why not show it here? I'm not sure if the choice thing matters to me as much. I agree with comics on the fact that Luke was not about those traditional ways. He was told not to leave his training, but he said, I have to, because if my friends would do that for me if I were in trouble. So I understand what you're saying, but at this point when he's just starting to become the teacher, he might go back to that, that textbook. Okay, step 1, do this, and this. He might start out that way because he doesn't want to mess up. So he wants to go very strict by a book, the way things used to be, maybe. And I'm not saying that's how he would do it. saying that's a possibility. So that doesn't bother me as much. It's kind of a dick move, though, to put something that he knows was brought to him by this person who he was with all this time, and putting it down in front of him and saying, here, you get to choose. You got to choose this or this. The other thing I don't like about that scene is it's like we already know what he's going to choose. Listen, they put the bubble on the back end of this starship that they just rebuilt. They bring him back in this episode. They're just and before before we went live, comics said they're telegraphing it, and that's how I feel this is. It's like they're telegraphing to bring Grogu back to the Mandalorian, and it's like, I mean, I understand why they're doing it. That's their cash cow, great, but I don't see the point of doing it again. It's like, I don't know. So I have a little bit of issues with that, but like I said, I like all the places they went. I like bringing back the characters. So all this stuff to me is all right. The biggest egregious thing is that, like we said, with 7 episodes, you only have so much time to do something. So they can't finish up the war. Well, let me rephrase that. They can if they finish up the war in 1 episode. If they finish off Cad Bane's story in 1 episode, they're screwing the pooch. I guess what you got to do is start the war in the next one and cut and let it ride and do a second season. That's the only proper way to do it now, because you've wasted 2 episodes on not having anything really to do with this war.
What would be the problem if they were to open up with them already in the war, fully engaged? It's been 2 or 3 weeks. And then we just see badass stuff for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever minutes, what time we're going to put on there. And then wrap it up nice and neat.
They did kind of give the idea that things were already in play, because when they did show Boba Fett, he's looking over the city and they were talking about things happening in different quadrants. They did show the explosion. They're giving the idea that the beginnings of this war have happened or are happening. But if you make so much out of this to be this war, this upcoming war, they spent literally 2 episodes talking about this upcoming war, and then you basically just poo-poo it away like it's nothing. Like, oh, let's just get through it. I mean, can they? Sure, they can. It's not doing it justice.
All they got to do is they can see the end result and then be like 2 days earlier and flash back 2 days and show all this shit that like movies done in the past and wrap stuff up.
I'd have to see how it came out. I don't see how you could do that and give it justice to the way it feels like they were trying to sell it to us.
They do it movies all the time, bro.
Do it. What?
They do it movies all the time. The movie will open up and let's say they just show end result and they'll say 5 days ago. And they start,
like I said, could they? Could they? Yes. Do I have faith in them doing it in a way that it will help the series? No. I don't think they have, and again, this is something I've said about Marvel and Star Wars series, is that they don't have an idea of pacing. They dilly-dally along for 5-6 episodes, and then the 7th, 8th episode comes along, and they're like, oh shit, we got to do something about it. I mean, like I said, I'm not discounting that I like this series. I do like this series. I'm not saying I don't. I just don't know how you can give it the proper time to flesh out what they've built up to in 1 episode. So, all right, let's do final grade for this episode and predictions or final thoughts. And we will start with Danny.
I give it an A-.
Any predictions or final thoughts?
They're gonna wrap it up, and probably half the people are not gonna like it. But
okay,
that's life.
Okay, fair enough.
That's all I got to say.
Okay, that's fine.
This episode actually will get an A from me because again, I enjoyed the episode. It's the only one out of the series that I really, really enjoyed. But we're gonna wrap it up. Yeah, they're gonna have the war, and Boba Fett's gonna ride a Rancor. And I'm still not interested in watching
Really?
Boba Fett ride a Rancor.
Really, Alonzo?
I'm not interested in it. I don't care. I want to see him do his jetpack stuff, flap in the air, shoot, do this. I hope they
You
do
only
that.
seen Danny one time. One time for what?
Danny Trejo?
Yeah, 10 minutes. One time.
Yeah.
You want to see the Rancor one time, 10 minutes. That's all we saw that.
Yeah, but they already foreshadowed that he's going to write it. When he says, "Oh, I wrote bigger things," and he says he wants to write it, yeah, he's going to write it into the war. I'm not interested. Okay. I think it's going to look cheesy with the special effects too. It might look bad, and I think they could do a lot more stuff with Boba Fett to make him feel like a badass, which hopefully they do. But I mean, other than that, still gets an A from me. Still a good episode.
Shitchy says, I don't think they're erasing the sequels, but I think there's something that would change if they pull the trigger and the storyline Filoni set up so brilliantly on Rebels. Basically,
they're not.
Let's do that happen. I really don't.
No.
They are not going, and I've said this 1,000 times, they're not going to get rid of the sequels. They're using these episodes to move towards the sequel to try to patch together some correlation between the two.
Right.
And Filoni and Favreau have a very difficult situation to try to give you some context that will work with what they gave you in the films. All right.
Going to come out with
Android.
a Skywalker series. That's what I think.
Well, that'd be fine. I think it would work.
Yeah.
Hey, Tony Robinson, what's going on? Good to see you. Nindroid, final thoughts, grade?
Yeah. I'm going to give it also an A, just a solid A. My predictions are that we're going to see the beginning of the war, like the more beginning. Also, we're going to get Grogu being dropped off to Mando. I think Luke is going to come in with possibly, because there's rumors and leaks kind of that, Han Solo and young Ben Solo are going to appear next episode. So I think they're all just going to drop Grogu off right there. And they might be joining the war for a little bit as well.
So we be seeing a young Kylo Ren?
Yeah.
Supposedly, yeah.
Yeah, 7-year-old Kylo. Basically. So, yeah. And maybe Kira from Crimson Dawn. So,
There it is.
Yeah.
Got it.
Well, and look, here's the thing: the Pikes don't really hire bounty hunters. All right, so the Crimson Dawn that does, though. So I'm telling you, Crimson Dawn is somehow involved here. All right.
Okay.
So yeah.
God, I hate that name, Crimson Dawn. I don't
Really?
want to see that.
Sounds
Yeah, I
too
don't
much
like
like Crimson Tide.
it. Yeah, it's just, I don't like it.
All right. Comics. Final thoughts, fucking great.
Final thoughts. I really don't have any. As far as my grade, I give it a punch to the groin and a spinning back fist to the face.
Nice. Great. So,
Hey, I got a
colorful.
chuckle out of you, Danny. Come on.
Good.
All right. Austin, well, what do you think they're going to do? Do you think they're going to start? Do you think they're going to go through the war and just wrap up everything in one episode?
It's been their formula, with the Marvel stuff and all the stuff.
Austinator, go ahead.
Well, my final grade, I'll give it a B+. I mean, it is a really good episode, but I do have to be consistent with my thoughts on last episode. Is that if Boba's, it's still going to be in the B range, but it's B+ though. It's a really good episode. My thoughts on what the last episode's going to entail. If this was a perfect world, and I think that they should begin more or less the kind of like the ground war and stuff. Like we did see the beginning of the war this episode with it was like more like the tides of war were coming, like the blowing up the bar, Cad Bane's attack. That was kind of like, ultimately like the sign of war. Right. And so this episode would basically be like the beginning of like this, like the ground war where you have both the Pikes and Boba Fett's, crew. They're going to run roughshod a little bit. Not like it's not gonna be like a full on like chaotic war, but I think it's gonna be more or less under the lines of it's just gonna be more like just brawling in a sense with like some. It's just gonna be normal basic war essentially. But as far as wrapping it up in one episode, I would rather them maybe start off Mandalorian with Mandalorian season 3 with ending the war, if that, because I feel like it needs 2 episodes, but if they're gonna do it, if they're gonna end it in 1 episode, then they have to do it in a way that makes sense and not do it in a way that's like it's rushed. Because if it's rushed, then what was the point of even setting this up? But I mean, as long as we get some cool shit, because Mandalorian did really well with its finale. I would even say to a degree Bad Batch, even though like the first half was better, I would say even Bad Batch had a solid finale. So I'm not really worried about Boba Fett not having a solid finale. It's just I just don't want them to rush anything that's gonna ultimately bite them back in the ass. So but overall, though, I mean, I really do enjoy the show, Boba Fett, because, it's like, I can still get down with the show, not saying I would go back and watch it every day, but, I say it's a solid show. I just hope it doesn't, it's like, if it's going to have another season, then I don't mind a cliffhanger, it's, because you're going to have that. Every season finale has to have a cliffhanger to keep you invested. But I just hope they don't
plan another season, though.
Yeah, that's only if.
Right.
But
they're doing another season yet.
Yeah. So I just don't want them to bite themselves back in the ass. So, but overall, B+.
Okay. I will go with a B+ also. Hold on, let me see here. I'm looking up to see if they've greenlit a season 2 yet or not. I don't think they have, but something tells me. Disney and Lucasfilm have described the Book of Boba Fett as The Mandalorian Season 2.5. Wow, if that isn't the nail on the head. Wow.
That's pretty accurate.
Wow. Well, they said it themselves then. I don't think you're going to see the end of the war in this. I think you'll see the beginnings, and if this 2.5 thing is true, perhaps they just use this as a crossover back into Mandalorian, and it is just a filler thing, and Boba Fett will go back to Mandalorian, and Mandalorian will finish it. I don't know. I don't think they're going to finish it, though. You can start it, or they're going to do something kind of like how the Jedi were captured in Phantom Menace. When they're there, and then they all come and just kind of trap them.
But do you really want to see this finished in Mandalorian season 3?
Well, that's probably what's going to happen. It's going to start, yeah. And it's going to get continued in Mando season 3.
That's what I think.
Well, that's my guess.
If they do this as a crossover, we see it all the time in the CW. Might as well.
Mm-hmm. So I'm okay with that.
Events, yeah, but
that's kind of what this, and like I just read what Disney and Lucasfilm called it, Mandalorian season 2.5. If that's literally what they called it, then they're just using this as a way to expand the Mandalorian season, and that's why they've brought the Mandalorian in so much in the last 2 episodes. I don't want to see the war end. I sure as hell don't want Grogu to come back. I wonder if Luke and Grogu will come back and Mandalorian will tell him, no, you need to go and finish this, and maybe that last meet will be something. I'd prefer something like that.
How did Luke get his boy's lightsaber? Yoda.
Because he was on Dagobah when he died. It may not have shown him.
I thought he dropped it during the fight.
Well, but that doesn't mean he never got it back or he didn't make a new one. I guess that's something you have to figure out. I did think it was kind of interesting that they did that.
So with the whole lightsaber thing, yes, it was actually destroyed by the Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
The Emperor actually personally destroyed it after Order 66. But Yoda built another lightsaber on Dagobah, apparently, but he chose never to use it whatsoever and to remain on exile. So Luke got it on Dagobah after he died.
Yeah, and that's the only thing that made sense to me. So I didn't question that so much. I just, I could see him doing a lot of stuff with it. I'm okay if they just continue this into Mandalorian season 3. I'd be much happier to see that than just to see everything wrapped up neatly in 5 minutes, which at this point right now is about the only thing they could do if they decide to wrap it up. But I think they definitely have leaned more into this is just a continuation of the Mandalorian season. So, I guess I'll be okay if they continue. Like if they start it, I want more Boba Fett in the next episode, and then lead right into Mandalorian season 3. But we'll have to see what happens. I got asked today, why is it if you guys don't like this, or why is it if you guys are complaining about this or this or this, are you still watching it? And what I always tell people, is, critics don't not go see movies because they like them. They go see movies because that's their job. Their job is to give it their honest opinion. And what we've always said on this show, you don't have to agree with our opinion. If you love this series, if you absolutely love this series, more power to you.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to go back and watch it 5,000 times, more power to you.
Yeah, and I'll add something to that too. It's like you're also not the arbiter of what people will watch and not watch.
Exactly.
When it comes to why do I watch it? Well, honestly, so I can hang out with these guys. If I'm being flat honest,
and we appreciate that.
The only reason why I'm watching it.
We appreciate.
I love talking to Chris, Danny, Onzo, Austinator, and I always screw this up, so I make sure I'm going to say Nindroid because
I am waiting.
Nimrod, which was
I am waiting for that day when MCU makes something that you like. I am waiting for that day. I want to be a part of that stream. I want to be a part of that stream.
Well, the MCU did make something I did like. It was called Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Disney Plus.
But anyway, yeah. I mean, and at the end of the day, it's like we're allowed to talk about things we don't like. We're also allowed to talk about things we do like. It's it takes all sorts.
And the other thing I say is, just because you like something doesn't mean you can't find the faults in it. I mean, honest to God, this series and all of the Star Wars and all of the Marvel series, there's horrible timing. There's horrible flow. There's a lot of problems with it, but I can still like a lot of this stuff. But I see where they could fix it, and I also know that a lot of that's because they've gotten rid of everybody who actually understands Star Wars. That's a lot of the problem we have right now, is that everybody who understood Star Wars isn't given the reins of Star Wars. You have one person in primary who thinks that she knows everything about Star Wars, and as soon as she gets her hands on it, that's when it changes severely. So, yeah, I just hope that I hope that we get something that doesn't just wrap everything up nice and neat. I'm much better with a cliffhanger than I am wrapping it up. So, with that said, guys, thank you again. This is short and sweet, but
really, it wasn't a cliffhanger. If we're gonna get a season 2, if we're gonna get a season 2, damn if I want to see a cliffhanger.
I'm okay if they wrap it up in The Mandalorian, though, because The Mandalorian's been in the last 2 episodes.
I mean, obviously, I don't want to be one of them shows. You be like, what the fuck happened? How many shows you been watch like that, and they just quit in the end of the season? You don't know what happened. I don't want it to be like that. So if they ended up,
I want them to have a cliffhanger, and if it finishes off in Mandalorian, then fine. I don't want it to just wrap up. No, I hate series that try to. I don't know. I think I never watched Lost, but I hear Lost's finale was really kind of just thrown together at the last second. I don't know that for sure.
It is definitely a series that meanders.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's been series in the past that just kind of wrap it up and done, and you're like, what?
Like Game of Thrones, what some people say. I personally
like season
watched what's one, the vampires. It ended up pretty fucked
True
up.
Blood.
True Blood.
Oh yeah,
Uh-huh.
True Blood's ending was terrible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want nothing like that. That's all I'm saying.
No, I don't either. I want a conclusion to it somewhere. And if they don't come back with season 2 of Book of Boba Fett, I'd still love to see Boba Fett in Mandalorian, just as a part of the Mandalorians in that series. Fine, whatever. Fennec Shand can be over there too. We'll see. I mean, but yeah. So thank you guys for being here. One more to go. We'll be back next week on Sunday at 6 or 7:30 Eastern time. So make sure you tune in then. Before you leave, we're going to go around one more time, let you hear about everybody and what you can find out about where they're at, what they're doing. Start down at the bottom with Ostator. Ostator, tell everybody about yourself, your channel one more time, please.
Yeah, I have my own channel. I do a bunch of stuff over there. Might do a stream later on tonight. Just go check me out. You can find me on basically everybody's channels. Find me at the Chaos Central channel for the Book of Boba Fett Roundtable, Group 1, more specifically at 7:30. You can find me on the Real View 3000 for the weekly wrap-up. You can find me on the Hangout on Guy Scar's channel. You can find me on Ninja channel for Galactic Chat, and you can find me on the Late Night Snack on the Metal Taco Show on the Jason Lee Tucker Statements channel, and you can find me on my own channel and my own Twitter at the Alsator17. Sometimes I tweet, sometimes I retweet, sometimes I don't. It's a lottery. Go check it out. And also follow me on the Chaos Central Twitter at Central Chaos, where I've been tweeting out the roundtables. Literally right after I get off of here, I'm tweeting out the 9 o'clock show that'll be happening in, well, roughly 30 minutes. But because it's not, I'm just going to say about 37. So, look, I can do math. So, you know what? Yeah, just check me out. Chris, thanks for having me on. This was a great roundtable.
Awesome. And thank you for being here. Next, Comics Division. Go ahead and tell everybody about yourself and your channel one more time, please.
What? Who?
You.
Hi, everybody. I'm Comics Division. I talk about, well, the Book of Boba Fett. That's the thing I'm reviewing currently. So I have a lot to do because I only have 3 episodes reviewed so far. But think that we're at the final week of I should probably step on the gas and get the rest of my reviews done this week. So look forward to that.
Do you go back and rewatch them to do your reviews?
No, I don't. Now I'll see the point in rewatching the episode.
You just go look at the clip notes.
I just go to Wikipedia and reread the synopsis of the episode.
That's what I was saying. Awesome. Thank you for being here again.
I learned my lesson from watching Picard season 1, because I was literally watching the episode 3 times when I was reviewing it. I was like, I can't do this. It's too painful.
Oh wow, you're a trooper, I tell you. Nindroid, tell everybody about yourself.
Punishment, but
well, that's I was just giving you a nicer terminology for it.
Sorry, Nindroid, go ahead.
Yeah, it's all right. You guys can personally find me on my own YouTube channel, Nindroid243, where over there we have the fan edit of The Rise of Skywalker that I'm working on, reworking the entire film, trying to make it at least a little bit better for fans that did not like it. So yeah, that will be coming out May 4th of this year. Also, I do Galactic Chat every single Friday, every other week actually. So, yeah, guys, we're going to be talking about Book of Boba Fett, and you can always find me on Austinator's channel for many of his streams, and you can always find me here for for the first panel. So, yeah, and this is the best panel, everyone. So, yeah. Thank you, Chris, for having me on.
Not a problem. Anzo, tell everybody about yourself and your channel one more time, please.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Bigger Forward Entertainment, Chaos Conversation. We have Rule of 3, Chaotic Conversation, Rule of 3, Chaos List, OOC. Do a lot of great stuff, man. And this is a great roundtable over here, a great panel. So if you're not sub to everybody, please. And thanks for having me on, Chris. Great show.
Awesome. Danny, tell everybody about yourself again.
I'm Danny Graham, aka Comment Chat, everything Alzo said. I'm gonna have to go through it again because you see one of us, usually see myself or Chris. We all stream together. Chaos Central is our channel, so please subscribe to it if you haven't. Like Alzo just said, please subscribe to everybody on this panel. Great panelists, man. All have great content. So please reach out if you haven't already and support these guys. Great show. Glad to be here. Can't wait to see what the finale is going to be next week.
Okay. I am Chris Knight. The Real Review 3000 is my channel. I call it ADHD for YouTube. Check it out. Gaming, movies, reviews, all that stuff. More. Of course, here on Chaos Central, where we have the 3 shows, the 2 gentlemen to the left of me mentioned. The roundtables. We got other stuff also that we're looking at doing. ChaosCentral.com. Check that out. Looking for people who want to write reviews, articles, things like that. Trying to get that started back up. And also, as Austin Nader said, we have Twitter at Central Chaos. All sorts of good stuff. We also have Instagram. Check it out. We're at 250 subscribers. That's 1/4 of the way of subscribers we need. We are easily over the watch hours. So all we need is the subscribers. So what we need from you guys is to spread the word and let people know this is a place where it's safe for you to come in and say that you love The Last Jedi and that Luke in The Last Jedi is the only true Luke.
Not.
We will accept it, but you will probably be laughed at and cajoled, but only out of good times and fun. We're not here to tell you what to like and what not to like. That is the most important thing on this channel.
You sell your gallon of green milk.
Yeah. we're here to give you our opinions of things, but we're not here to tell you what your opinion should be. So if you like that stuff, by all means, like it. But come here to hear what we have to say about it. That's all we ask. So thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. Thank you for my panelists. Remember, here in about 30 minutes, 32 minutes to be exact, we're going to have group 2 here talking about the Book of Boba Fett. So most of the time we get different views, so it'd be interesting to check that out. So please be there too. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Peace.